Donald Trump is, of course, running for office again. I mean, as if you didn't know it. And he hasn't been doing too well in the polls. Ever since Joe Biden dropped out and Kamala Harris took over, Donald Trump has been kind of floundering, and there's been a 10-point swing, like nationally. He was ahead by 2 points, I believe, when Biden was running, and now he's behind by 8 points nationally. And that's kind of the golden zone there. Like, the Democrat needs to be ahead by minimum 5 points nationally in order to actually win because of certain disadvantages that Democrats have in the swing states, i.e. gerrymandering, vote suppression, shit like that. So in order to actually win an election, a Democratic candidate has to overperform on the national level. And Kamala Harris appears to be doing that. So Trump is kind of shitting his pants right now in fear. And it doesn't seem to be settling with him very well. He got caught calling Kamala Harris a fucking bitch. Here is the video, and we can turn this on and we can make this a little smaller so that I can draw and we can listen to what Donald Trump says. Apparently somebody was filming this without telling him. And you know what? You can make the choice yourself if you think that's what he said. So here's Trump here on a golf cart. This is actually his son, Barron. Barron Trump is apparently like 6'7". He's like super tall. So, you know, this is not like a golfing buddy. That's his son there. But let's see what he has to say.
How did I do with the debate the other night?
Oh, amazing.
He kicked that old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just quit, you know. He's quitting the race.
Is that right?
Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic.
It's so amazing.
It's just so fucking bad. So
I just can't imagine.
But can you
Did you hear
imagine that guy with dealing with Putin?
Did you hear it? Right there.
Bad, so
I just can't imagine.
But can you imagine that guy with dealing with Putin?
Right
so
here.
Bad. She's so pathetic.
It's so amazing.
It's just so fucking bad. So
I just can't imagine.
But can you imagine that?
Did you hear it? She's so pathetic, she's a fucking bitch. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, folks, it used to be that your campaign could get the kibosh put on it if you screamed something too loud. Like Howard Dean. Howard Dean made a noise that was too loud. Like he went like, ah! And that was the end of his campaign. And we're now at a point in American politics where you can be filmed saying that your opponent is a fucking bitch like that. And it barely makes the news. Like, I'm not even kidding. Not even 20 years ago, but even 10 years ago. This would have been everywhere on every channel. This would have been the end of Donald Trump right here. This video would be everywhere. Other Republicans would be coming out saying, I can't believe he said that. Well, I don't believe this, blah, 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 blah. And those days are over. Those days are completely gone. The days where you could tank your campaign by saying something stupid, over with. And it's kind of crazy. Like, I never thought that I would actually see this. I always kind of thought that kind of thing was stupid to begin with. It's like, who cares if he says something stupid? What are his policies about? That was that was always my thing. It's kind of good to see, but it's also kind of bad at the same time. It's bad in that, like, people like this kind of thing, people should be angry at this. I think people should be angry at this. I think this actually does disqualify him. I mean, not like all the other shit that he's done hasn't disqualified him either. None of the fact that he's like a fucking convicted criminal and that he tried to like commit a coup, all that stuff. I mean, that kind of goes without saying. But this is sort of Donald Trump when he's alone and he doesn't think anybody's listening. It's the casual misogyny of Donald Trump, you know? It's sort of like the Access Hollywood grab him by the pussy tape. You know, you listen to that and it's just that the casual misogyny of, you know, they let you do it when you're a star. Grab him by the pussy, you know. And then the little wormy asshole that was hanging out with him just laughs. This is the kind of man that millions and millions of people are going to be voting for. I would like to show you something here. This is the AP. This is how they reported that. Trump reportedly used a slur against Harris in private conversations. That's how they reported it. And this is as far as it ever got. And like this response here says, no, it's not reportedly. We saw him do it on camera. The clip has been circulated for days. The press is an absolute embarrassment at this point. You would think that this would be everywhere. The Associated Press is just not, they're like, and not just them, but other news stations, other news outlets. They don't care anymore. It's like, and it's kind of like they know that no one gives a shit. The time where you could get in trouble, especially if you're Donald Trump, for saying dumb shit like this is gone. There's some reactions here, mainly from Democrats. Here's one that I saw that I thought was funny. Fred Wellman, look at this asshole. His fat ass sitting in a golf cart next to his son calling the vice president a fucking bitch. Can't wait for his complete mental collapse when he's beaten by a black woman. I think I agree. Another one, a former president who calls the first future woman president a bitch is a fucking disgrace to America. People are pissed, and I understand it, because I'm kind of pissed too. I think I'm forced to agree with this guy here. This is from John Cooper. I wonder if this video of Trump calling Kamala Harris a fucking bitch is going to help him win over suburban woman voters. What do you think? I think we should all retweet this and spread it around so those suburban voters can see who Donald Trump really is when he doesn't think there's any cameras on him. I thought this one was funny. Ironically, fucking bitch is how Trump appears in Vladimir Putin's contact list. I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that at all. A few more of these. Actually, just one more tweet here. And this, of course, goes to show why it doesn't work anymore. Why the civility in politics is dead. Half the country calls her a fucking bitch. So what? There you go, folks. You know, you can say the most vile fucking things ever now, and there's always going to be people out there who support you. Because the days of civility in politics are long, long gone. And we have, ironically enough, Donald Trump to thank for that. It's kind of over, like those days where if you got caught doing something like this, and it was just the end of you, it's over. See, a lot of you young kids out there, you know, if you've only been active in politics for 10 or even 15 years, you don't remember. I mean, it used to be, if you spelled the word potato wrong, you were knocked out of the running. Like, that's how it used to be. It used to be, like, all you had to do was just one wrong move, and that was it. You were gone. And the president, especially running for president, but to a lesser extent, people who ran for the Senate and other political offices, they had to be on their best behavior at all times. And Donald Trump kind of broke that. I ultimately think it's positive and negative. I think it's positive because there are some people, in my opinion, who were forced out of politics for really dumb fucking reasons like that, who I think would have gone much farther and would have done much better. And politicians, I think, who were either canceled for one reason or another, or humiliated for doing dumb fucking things like this. Now that'll never happen again. And I think that's positive. But it's negative because it allows people like we just saw to justify the most crass and unbecoming behaviors. Do you really want someone who's a world leader to act like Donald Trump acts? Do you really want someone who's going to be talking to the presidents of Germany and France and Canada and the United Kingdom and facing off with Putin and shit like that? Do you really want that person to have a fucking schoolyard potty mouth like Donald Trump does, to refer to women in the way that Donald Trump does, and to treat people the way Donald Trump does? Do you really want that to happen? I would say most people would say no. One last thing that I want to share with you guys, because I find this to be very ironic. This is an article I found in The Hill. Vance says Democrats are engaging in schoolyard bully tactics. So apparently this is J.D. Vance, who is pissed off because the Democrats are calling him naughty names. Senator J.D. Vance said in a Sunday interview that Democrats are engaging in, quote, schoolyard bully, unquote, tactics by calling the GOP ticket weird. It drives home how they're trying to distract from their own policy failures I mean, look, this is fundamentally schoolyard bully stuff. Vance said on CNN State of the Union with Dana Bash. They can accuse me of whatever they want to accuse me of. I think it's because, of course, the joke that he fucked a couch has caught on so well. And then also it was because Tim Walz said Republicans are weird, and that caught on well. I don't think they know how to handle when they're on the receiving ends of the jokes and shit like that. It's driving them fucking bonkers. But let's keep reading. I'm doing this because I think that me being vice president will help improve people's lives, so I accept their attacks, but I think that is a little bit of projection, Dana, Vance added. Yeah, okay. Vance tried to levy similar attacks on the Democratic ticket, saying Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Harris's new running mate, gave his wife a nice firm Midwestern handshake when he was tapped as vice president pick, and then tried to sort of awkwardly correct for it. Blah, 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 blah. We can read the rest of this. I just thought this was really ironic, folks, because it was, of course, the Republicans who started with the schoolyard bully tactics. I mean, it started before Trump, but really Donald Trump was the one that brought that shit home. Donald Trump was the one that started coming up with little names, little cute names for everybody. You know, it first started with the people in his own party, you know, Lion Ted, Little Marco, Low Energy Jeb Bush. And then, of course, that went over to Hillary Clinton. What did he call Hillary Clinton? Crooked Hillary. And then, of course, he had Sleepy Joe Biden. And then, you know, he has to come up with a fucking little name for everybody. What did he call Nancy Pelosi? I don't know if he called her something crazy or some shit like that. I can't remember. He's the one that did that. He has brought the name-calling thing to a high art form. Donald Trump was the one that started with this. Okay, so it's really funny that he is, of course, angry when the Democrats give him a taste of his own medicine. And the reason why, folks, the reason why the name-calling thing, the calling the Republicans weird and all that, the reason why that hits so well, the reason why it works so well is because fascists cannot stand it when they are made fun of. They can't stand being the butt of the joke because fascists do not have a sense of humor. They are not capable of making fun of themselves. Especially, they're really capable of making fun of other people. They're all over that, especially in a racist or bigoted way. When it comes to that, they're all over it. But when they're on the receiving end of the joke, they fucking crumble. And if you remember, back in 2016, there was a White House Correspondents' Dinner. And Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump both went to this dinner. And the whole point of it was that you were supposed to make fun of yourself. That's the tradition. You're supposed to crack jokes about yourself at this dinner. And Donald Trump couldn't do it. It's on YouTube. Look it up. 2016 White House Correspondents' Dinner. He couldn't do it. Hillary Clinton could. She got up. She made jokes about herself, blah, blah, blah. Jokes about her emails and that kind of thing. Right? And all the little bullshit scandals that she was involved in during the campaign. Donald Trump refused. He's incapable of doing so. It takes a sense of humility in order to poke fun at yourself. In order to make fun of yourself, you have to have a sense of humility and humbleness, and he doesn't have that. Like all fascists, he's incapable of doing that, and that's why they fall apart when you call them weird. That's kind of the fascist kryptonite. That's why it's hitting so hard. Tim Walz's attack, where he called him weird, and then everybody's calling him like, oh, it's really weird because you want to fucking control women's like bodies and shit like that. And you're so interested in our fucking, like, everybody's fucking private lives in their bedrooms. You're interested in which person I stick my penis in and shit like that, and how many children I'm allowed to have. That's why it hits so hard. They can't fucking handle it. So please, keep it up. Keep it up and don't fall for any of their bullshit tricks and spread it around. Call them weird everywhere. Call them weird on social media. Call them weird to your friends and your family. Because fuck these people, and it's about time that, you know, they got a taste of their own fucking medicine. You know, the days of being civil during elections are over. Ultimately, it should be a good thing. You know why? Because it's beneath us to treat these people like with dignity and respect. Because they don't give us any dignity and respect. You know, they have no fucking problem using harassment and name calling and shit like that. So I don't see any problem using ridicule to like turn that shit back around on them. Because fuck these people. They don't deserve to be taken seriously. They should be treated like the fucking clowns that they are.
Hello folks, if you like what I do and you want to support the channel, please consider buying something from my Etsy shop, supporting me on Patreon, liking and subscribing, and checking me out across my social media links listed below. Thank you all so much, and see you next time.